Hello. Today I am on the floor and my quality looks so bad because my laptop is dead. It's gone. So I am recording off of my iPad using this uh, l- l- lavalier mic I got off of Amazon for $20. So it may be the worst microphone quality I may have. Just because I didn't want to set up my other stuff, I don't have all the adapters and whatnot to go to that. But that's whatever. Today I wanted to go over my upcoming comic book movies hype ranking because guess what? These next 2 years we are packed full of comic book movies, and there's so many, and I just want to go over what I'm excited for, why I'm not excited for some stuff, and yeah. So this is just gonna go over the new DCU stuff as well as the Marvel stuff. There's not anything else besides those two. There may be some other comic adaptations that are being created, but for today, that is not being covered by me because there's already too much stuff and I don't want to be recording this for an hour. That's just not going to happen. So first off at number 15. Oh, by the way, I have my notes on here on my little notepad because just I do everything on my laptop and it's just whatever. Number 15, I have James Gunn's DCU Sergeant Rock. I have no idea what this movie is about. It looks like a soldier in some war. He has the helmet on. I mean, who really wants that? I would rather go for a Batman movie, a Flash movie, even a Cyborg movie, or I don't know, Static Shock. Anybody but Sergeant Rock. I'm sure that if this movie still is existing, because James Gunn has said something about some of his movies not going right, and we haven't heard anything about this since he announced it years ago. Even if there is something happening with this movie, I'm sure it'll be fine because it's through James Gunn. But you're lying to yourself if you think you're gonna have Sergeant Rock over something like Beyond the Spider-Verse. Just don't lie to yourself. At 14, I have the new Blade movie. This movie has just been through developmental hell for years. I think it's been through like 5, 6 scripts. The actor Master Holly Ali, is that how you say his name? He was old when they casted him, so by the time they start filming and getting finished with the movie, he's about to be 60 years old, and we do not need a 60-year-old Blade. We need new, younger actors. And guess what? Come on, bro, you got to give it to somebody younger. You're Unc. I'm sorry. And honestly, even if Marvel does get a finished script and gets this movie going, their track record recently hasn't been the best. So I don't even think if they get the script out, I don't think it's gonna be quality. Honestly, it's just there's just been too many factors going on, and although I wish that Blade will be a good movie, I have no hype for. It's just like you're gonna have to convince me to see this movie. I have no hope. At 13, I have Swamp Thing. Look, I know a lot of people who are into DC love Swamp Thing. I personally just have not gotten to any of his comics at all. I don't know what Swamp Thing does. I know he speaks for the trees. I know he's a good green guy and he's friends with Poison Ivy. But guess what? I'm not too hype. There's not much for me to say. I'll look into Swamp Thing, and then if I look into it and I get hyped for it, then guess what? I'll be hyped for Swamp Thing and I'll boost it up. But until then, it'll stay at 13. That's fine. Sorry, bro. At 12, I have one that I think some people may wonder why it's so low, and it's the new X-Men movie that's supposed to be coming out, I think in like 2028, sometime after Secret Wars, I'm pretty sure. Look, I've been reading the Uncanny X-Men. I've been going through all of it. It's cool to see all the characters, the teams as they develop. I'm not that much far into the X-Men mythos, but I'm learning it. And I've seen the original movies. Um, they were alright. Do we really think this movie is gonna be good? Like right now, I'm loving reading the X-Men, but I think the way I'm gonna be hyped about this movie is just the way they're gonna go about it. If they completely reset the X-Men in a whole new universe after Secret Wars, and we get all new actors, and we can start from scratch and not have to worry about any of the past stuff. I think this can be good if they lock in. I know they got the guy who did Thunderbolts, which was a pretty good movie. I thought it was slightly overrated, but I thought it was a pretty good movie. If they get him to do that movie, give him full creative control. I'm praying it turns out good, but honestly, I just don't have a lot of confidence in Marvel at the moment. And please, just don't have any of the Fox people in there. Just everyone in there is old. Everyone's in their 40s, 50s, 80s, 90s. We got people in the 90s still playing these characters. They're gonna get slimed out in Doomsday and Secret Wars, like Magneto in Professor X. They're dead, bro. If they're not dying in those movies, they better not show up in the new ones. That's what I gotta say. 11, I got Wonder Woman. And the only reason I have Wonder Woman this low is because there's just a lack of information about exactly what's gonna happen in this movie. And I'm not too familiar with Wonder Woman as a character. I know like general amounts, and I'm kind of excited to see like the pantheon of DC's gods, because she's related to that. And I think that would be really cool to see, but at the moment, there's nothing really to go off of except the fact that there is a Wonder Woman movie. I'm gonna go see that movie. I'm just personally not, my hype isn't as excited for that movie as anything else. Okay, the next one, unfortunately, I have Teen Titans, mostly because there's just this pit in my stomach that I feel like they're not gonna get it as good as I would like them to. I honestly don't have any reason why. It's just this feeling. I think it mostly stems from the live action Titans show. Although that show wasn't the worst, it wasn't good. I honestly think maybe like the castings are gonna get me more excited for it. But until then, I'm gonna have Teen Titans at 10. I'm sorry, I love Teen Titans. I love the show. Come on. I love both shows. I don't hate Teen Titans Go. It's pretty funny. But sorry, Teen Titans. I feel like there's better movies on this list that I can get excited for. Okay, the next movie on this list is Dynamic Duo, which at first would have been higher on my list, but I heard a couple more things about it that made me kind of more skeptical about how excited I should be about it. The thing that really caught my eye about it was the animation style, how they're doing like animation with puppetry, which sounds really cool, and I kind of want to see how they're going to go about it. But I think the one issue that I heard was Dick and Jason are going to be both being Robins at the same time, which just, it's kind of a weird decision. I feel like that's one thing where Dick goes into Nightwing, and then that's when Jason comes into the picture. Not them at the same time. I guess that could work if you kind of see the relationship between Dick and Jason more before Jason kind of, And I'm not saying this movie's gonna turn out bad or anything. I just want to kind of hear more information on it. Yeah, I think there's so many good movies coming out. It has to be this low until I see more on it. I'm sorry. At number 8, unfortunately, I do have Batman: The Brave and the Bold, the Batman and Damian Wayne team up, or Batman and Robin movie. I'm not as opposed to Damian being the first like kind of on-screen Robin we see, but it just kind of makes me think I wish they would start a little bit earlier in Batman's kind of life and where he was at, especially if Superman kind of started 3 years ago and we're sort of still seeing mostly at the beginnings of his experiences in the DCU. I just think it's a little weird that they're starting so late in Batman's but so early in Superman's life. I hope they kind of do something about this. They kind of, I don't know. I heard James Gunn doesn't really know what they're gonna do with Batman as of yet. And I know it's a lot to go off of, but I hope they kind of go earlier in his life. Maybe they start off with Tim Drake. I would prefer, you're not gonna have John. You can't have the two kids with Damian being 20 and then John's like 3 years old. How is that gonna work in the movie? Come on, it's a cool dynamic. But and then there's this whole thing with the casting of Batman and the Brave and the Bold. People want to see Pattinson, and some people want to see him recasted. Honestly, I kind of want to see the recast. I think having Pattinson in there isn't going to do good for the Batman trilogy, if that's what they're trying to go for. That's something I need to talk about in a whole separate video, but I think Pattinson should stick in his own universe, just let those movies do their thing. I think that's going to be really good. I think introducing it into the whole DCU is going to sort of ruin the vibe, I would feel, because just imagine in the Batman, like as the Riddler was flooding everything, Superman comes flying in and busts through, and then we have the Justice Gang doing their stuff. Just I don't like that. I think a more mystical Batman would work better for this, personally, and that's why I have Raven the Bold at that spot. Next, I have, which is kind of funny, Clayface above a Batman movie, which is crazy. But Clayface is coming out next year, and I'm just really confident in this movie, and I think it can be almost as good, maybe as good as the Batman. The way that the guy who wrote Clayface, I forgot his name, but he wrote it. He was very like fond of it, and they showed it to James Gunn. James Gunn liked it, and they immediately greenlit it, and they're filming right now. We're getting a Clayface movie before Wonder Woman, The Flash, Cyborg, Green Lantern, like all that. We're getting a Clayface horror movie. I think it's gonna be good, especially with the tone they're going for it. Clayface is an actor that is all deformed, and he's gonna be shapeshifting and stuff. I think that's wonderful. So I'm actually pretty excited for Clayface, and that's why I have that at 7. Next, at 6, which is crazy. These aren't even top 5. I have Avengers: Doomsday and Secret Wars. Let's be honest, Marvel is sort of going through it right now. The more I hear about Doomsday with the rewrites, the amount of people that are going to be in it, people were fighting on set and they were doing rewrites for that. Just the non-cohesiveness of Phase 4 and 5, and we're about to go into Phase 6. Just all that together, just I'm not very confident. Of course, I'm going to see it. I'm going to see that movie day one, of course. But when it comes to like actually being hyped for it, I'm more cautious than actually excited, because I don't know if they're going to stick the landing. And I think the Secret Wars, Avengers Secret Wars, the way I rank that is going to really depend on how Doomsday does. Trust me, I'm not saying that I hope this movie fails. I'm just saying I gotta be realistic in my hype, and that's why it hasn't even cracked the top. It hasn't cracked the top 5, which I apologize for, but that's just how it is. Now we've entered our top 5. At 5, I have Spider-Man: Brand New Day. I love Spider-Man. I especially love Tom Holland's Spider-Man. I kind of prefer his. I'm not gonna lie, that he may be my favorite. The way I see people arguing over the actors for the Spider-Man, I like them all. I like different aspects about them. But I just kind of honestly prefer Tom, like as an actor. So I'm pretty excited for this movie, actually. I love the setup that No Way Home leaves for this movie. He's alone, he's brooding, he has nothing. So hearing about the Hulk and the Punisher being in this movie, this is gonna be fire. It's gonna be fire. But until I see that trailer, it's gonna stick at 5. But I am excited for this movie. Top 5 doesn't mean anything of this is bad. It's just very slight hype variations. You know. At number 4, we have Supergirl, and I know. How do I have a Supergirl movie above Spider-Man: Brand New Day? It just happened, bro. I'm not gonna lie. This whole channel is basically a Supergirl fan channel at this point. I've talked about this comic in multiple different videos. I think it's amazing, and after seeing Superman and getting a glimpse of Supergirl at the end of that movie, I was hyped. Like my blood pressure rose. My heartbeat rose when I saw Supergirl in there, because I was like, I need this movie. It's based off a comic. It has Lobo in it. Come on. I'm not too sure if it's like a recency bias towards the DCU, because Superman came out, Peacemaker is currently coming out at the time of this video. I love the Supergirl comic. I think all those things factoring together, with them being quality projects at the same time, leads me to watching this movie really quick, really fast, and I need it. But I think that just kind of gives it that edge over Spider-Man, knowing that these projects have been quality so far. Marvel has been a little hit or miss. I love Marvel, but that's just kind of where you're at the moment. So that kind of gives it the edge, I would say. So we're in the top 3 now. My third movie that I am excited for is Man of Tomorrow, which was announced like a week ago at this point. I don't even know if it's been a week. This is not even an official sequel to Superman. This is a movie that Superman has a lead role in, according to James Gunn. So whatever that means, how is this not a sequel to Superman? I don't know, but I'm excited for it. You saw Lex in his power armor, his little kryptonite grain power armor that I had a Lego set of when I was younger. They look like they're going to be teaming up for a bit, which is going to be an interesting dynamic between the two. That's going to be fun to see. I hope it takes place. I don't know. Where is this going to take place? After Superman, I'm really hyped for this series. And I think Man of Tomorrow, hope is really good. Especially after Supergirl. If Supergirl's in that movie too, come on, bro. Let's just stop. Let's just stop. We're hyped we're hyped for Man of Tomorrow. Stop it. Next, at the number two spot, we have the Batman Part 2. And I have the Batman Part 2 right here because with the Superman movie, there were some nitpicks that I just didn't like about it. Small things, nothing that was too like game changing for me in like the final product. But when it comes to the Batman, there's not a lot wrong with that movie at all. There's not a lot wrong. The only thing I would say is wrong with the Batman was Alfred not being as big of a part as he should be. I don't know if I like Andy Serkis as Alfred, but everything else is good in that movie. The cinematography, the plot, the acting, everything is good in that movie, and it's 3 hours long, but guess what? It doesn't really feel 3 hours long. At the very tail end, I can feel it. But for like 95% of the movie, it's good. It's fire. So I think this next movie is basically guaranteed to have fantastic quality. And this movie is gonna be amazing. And although we have to wait 2 more years, I'll wait. I'm not too mad at that. I'll wait. And for our number one spots, you may be wondering, what have I forgot? What's at the number one spot? Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse? Do I even have to explain that? Look, I'm not gonna put this lightly. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, seen that movie in my freshman year, life-changing movie. Like, that was one of the craziest experiences I have ever seen in my life, and I can watch that movie multiple times in a year and not even care. Like, if I had to watch that movie once a month, I would not be mad. That movie is amazing. That's a perfect movie to me. And then the sequel came out, Across the Spider-Verse, and it was almost I need to watch it again. I need to watch both back to back and see which one I like more. But I think those movies are on par, quality wise. All I think of the issue with Across the Spider-Verse was the ending, because it's a part 1, part 2. That's what it was originally, and they changed the name, so now it's not. But it's basically a part 1 to a part 2, and it was still amazing. I don't care about the ending like that. People were complaining about it. I thought it was cool because I knew it was a part 2. But if this last movie hits the nail, best animated trilogy of all time. Maybe best trilogy of all time. Not even animated. This may be the best trilogy of all time. And I need this movie in my veins. You don't know how excited I was for Across the Spider-Verse and Into the Spider-Verse. I was counting the days. Every day I wake up and be like, damn, is it time? No, you got 2 months left. And I would count down every single day. I think I was like 2 hours early for this Across the Spider-Verse premiere. We all know this movie's gonna be lit. That's just my number one. It's always gonna be in my heart. I'm ready for it. I'm excited for it. I'll be there day 1. I'll be there day 0. But yeah, this was my upcoming comic book movie hype ranking. This doesn't mean that the quality of some of these are going to be bad. It's just what I'm personally feel hyped for. Thank you for listening. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and deuces.